Hello, hello, Youest You listeners. I am so excited to be here with you. Thank you. I know that there are a lot of places that you can tune in and listen to many other wonderful things out there. And I'm just really honored that you're here today with me for this podcast, for this episode. You are just going to love my guest, and I can't wait to share about her and the work she's doing. So just want to say again, thank you for being here and welcome. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the You-est You podcast community. And I'm going to introduce you now to our amazing guest today, Cippy Roz, researcher, screenwriter, editor, director, and producer of the film, The One Field, which was amazing. We're going to talk all about it. Cippy is a graduate of the film school. She is a veteran editor and scriptwriter of films and series which have been shown on television and in festivals all over the world. For 30 years, she has edited about 50 documentaries, and specifically for the IBA, the Israel Broadcasting Authority. And in the show notes, we will have a list of all of those documentaries. But without further ado, I just want to get right to it because Cippy, it's late where you are. So thank you. Thank you, my friend, for being here. And I'm just so excited to get to have a conversation with you and to dive into the exquisite film that you created and produced and directed, The One Field. Welcome.
Thank you.
So can you share with us, because first of all, I know that this film, it didn't happen overnight. From what I remember reading and hearing, this took time. And I think for those on two levels that are working on projects that might take a while, I think it's very inspiring that you kept with it and that you didn't stop. Even though some time lapsed, like you really, you put your heart into this, obviously. And maybe just to share what was the thinking or the intention behind The One Field and a little bit about the film and kind of that process of filming over, I think it was 10 years.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say that I'm a very realistic person. Okay. So you want to know about the process of making The One Field, the movie, yeah?
Love to know the process, like your intention behind it, and then we can talk about it. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So first of all, I want to say that I'm a very realistic person, and I was like this all my life. Never believed in anything that I cannot see, cannot touch, cannot feel. And even I was speaking about it all, when I was younger, that I don't believe in God because I never met him. That's what I used to say. But all this, there was an experience, a near-death experience that I experienced, which was very, very strong and very powerful. I can tell you about it later if you want, because it's a long story, but
yeah,
this experience was the point that until this experience, my life was one way, and after the experience, I was, starting to ask myself what I'm doing in this world, why I'm here. Is there any meaning to my existence? And for all these years that I was asking myself this question, I was working for the Israeli TV, and all the movie that I was editing, all the time it was about war or about conflict. And, sometimes I was even editing news. I was working in the news. And to see all the reality, and in my mind, there is a reason why I'm in this world. And slowly I understood my role in this life. Mm-hmm. My question was all the time, what is my aim in life? I mean, why I'm here? And every time when I was asking myself, looking inside and asking myself, the answer that I got is like, when I will die, I know I need to know that I did what I have to do here in this life. So, but what to do? So with this, with this in my mind, and the near-death experience that make me understand that there is something beyond matter, for sure. And I was learning it for 25 years. I was in a group with spiritual working. I don't know if you heard about Gurdjieff.
Heard the name, but I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, or Spensky maybe?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, it was 25 years of very intensive spiritual working, meditation, learning about tradition, the Indian tradition, the Buddhism, the Judaism, and trying to understand if there is, let's say, there is one truth. There is one truth, and if there is one truth, it cannot be contradicted. It's one truth, so it means there is oneness that I want to understand. So let's say 2008, I just went to a channeler for the first time in my life, and she said, I see that you are directing a movie. And I said, I'm editor, I'm not director. She said, no, but I see that you are directing a movie. And she also said, what will be in the movie? So I said to myself, okay, let's see if it will be. I'm going to go to the unknown and to ask myself, what will be the movie that she's speaking about? If it will be what she said or not. So like this, I will know if there is a guide, somewhere. So show me the way. So like this, I started this path, and we filmed a movie, but no channel TV wanted it because it was too much, before time. Because and then in 2013, I think, I said to myself, okay, so if they don't want, if the world of cinema cannot accept because it's too much, I don't know what, too much bizarre or too much spiritual, so let's go to the master. And the master was Gregg Braden, was Lipton, and that's the way we started to film the one film.
Wow. Okay, so I do want to come back to your near-death experience. Okay. I'm curious though, so just for those that I think it's very powerful that a couple of things. One, I love what you said, that you were very into practicality and that over time that shifted, which I want to get to. This taking the 10 years, was that because of just all the different pieces to film, or how did you stay? That's a long time to be in a project and to keep your focus and intention. And I think there's a lesson here, even in that piece, like you stuck with it and, created this beautiful, powerful film. It was like, it took my breath away. It was stunning.
First of all, it took so many years because I didn't get any money from, any fund. So it was very hard way to do it. And we were filming, in India and in Russia and United States and England. So it's a long process. And because I'm very practical and I'm very, down to earth, I wanted to know and I wanted to see in my eyes if there is something like sending energy, I want to measure it. So it was a long way, to do it. And it was, yes, it was very hard. Sometimes I was going to sleep and asking myself, why I need this headache, But there was I didn't have any choice. I had to do it.
Yeah. This is very inspiring, Tsipi, because And I'm just thinking of, for those that are listening, there's something you dream of, you desire. What you did, Cippy, is you did not let go of that. I mean, you, even when there wasn't necessarily funding or to create it the way you wanted to, I mean, you were in other countries, you wanted to see for your eyes how energy worked, like you stuck to it. And I think even that in itself is inspirational and a lesson. I'm thinking of those, I know, beautiful audience and listeners. I often hear, it can be hard sometimes to follow your dream, to follow your that greater vision, and you really did that. I think what would be really interesting before we get into what you did learn in the film, because it's so beautiful and exquisitely done. If we could go back for a moment, I think it'd be really interesting, intriguing to hear about your near-death experience, if you're comfortable sharing about it.
Yeah, no problem. So I was 31, and I had my little daughter. She was almost 3 years old, and my son was really born, like 4 months, something like this. And when I was putting my daughter to sleep, I was lying near to her and reading a book, for children, and then sleeping with her. So that's what I did. Suddenly, it was midnight. Yeah, it was very late in the night. Everybody's sleeping. Suddenly, I see myself. It's not I see myself. Suddenly, I'm in the ceiling, seeing my body lying near my daughter. Yeah, and I'm speaking about a person like me that said that there is no God because I never met him, and there is nothing that is existing but what I can see and touch and feel. And a minute after this, I'm in the sky, and then I'm in a tunnel, with the light, and a feeling of happiness, like coming home. And you have to understand, because when I said that I was realistic, I didn't know anything about near-death experience. I'm speaking about 30 years ago, yeah? Mm. So I'm feeling this happiness, but I don't know how. I know in the moment that if I'm going on, I'm dying. And I don't know what I did to come back to the body. Yeah, it's friction of time. It's very quickly all what I was telling you about. So I'm back in the room. Everybody's sleeping, and my husband was sleeping, 2 kids sleeping. I don't know what's happened, and I'm trying to go to sleep. So I'm asking myself, how can I sleep? And then what I understand what I did, now I understand it's in fact kind of NLP. I just said to myself, okay, imagine a green field, relax yourself. And then that's what I did. And I just slept, got up in the morning, forgot about it. Forgot about it completely. And then I went to a driving lesson, and the teacher, yeah, he called me a name that nobody until this day called me this name. He called me Tsiporka. Mm. It's a nickname of my name, Tsiporka. Immediately when he said it, I stopped the car and I said, never call me again like this, because I immediately remember what happened last night. Now, why this name reminded me, this is another story because it's connected to a dream that I had in the night about a woman. Her name is Tsiporka, but I don't want to go into it. It's too long story. But anyway, from this moment, for 1 week, I was afraid from the death. Like, I didn't know why I'm afraid, but I was afraid to be alone for even 1 moment. And I was going to the toilet, telling my husband, come to me with me to the toilet, because I was so afraid. Mm. And after 1 week, this fear changed to a deep sadness. And after a few hours, I got a phone call that tell me that my brother died. And my brother died. It was he was not ill. It was not known that he will die. You know, it just his heart stopped to work. And this shocked me. First of all, the death of a brother, of course, it's something that shocked me. But I understood immediately that what happened 1 week before, it's connected to this. So it means that I was connecting to him. And this means that there is something that connects people, even there is 50 kilometers from one another. This is one thing that was very clear understanding. And then understood that his death was known 1 week before, which is, what is the time? I mean, yeah, because he was not ill, yeah? So my body knew something about what will be in a week before. So of course I was very sad, but then I just slowly lost connection to the earth. And I was out of my body. And for 3 months or something like this, I was going to doctor, to hospital, and asking what's going on with me. I feel I can die every moment. And they all the time didn't understand me, you know, no, the blood, the blood pressure is okay, your heart is okay, everything is okay. But I knew that I cannot, that I'm not in my body. So after a few, I couldn't sleep. I was afraid that if I will go to sleep, I will not wake up in the morning. It was a very strange period because I had vision, you know, like I was in the window, and I knew that somebody will come, and he came, you know, like my conscious was really wide, and I understood so many, you know, like it's like I don't know what happened, how to define what happened to me, but I was in another state of consciousness. But anyway, after 3 months, something like this, a friend of mine told me that a very professional master in Reiki came to Israel for 2 weeks, and I met him. And the first thing he said that you can die each moment. I mean, and this really saved my life because he saw me. And he said, I'm 2 meters from out of the body. So he did what he did. He was shamanic, you know, and they sent me energy. And slowly I came back to my body and I could sleep. And this opened, you know, for me, a big question. Who am I? What I'm doing here? What happened? You know, how could I feel my brother to all this, you know, kilometer? What is it? Sending energy? What is Reiki? And it was a big research for 30 years, you know, of these questions.
Wow. I'm like, as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, okay, what that must have been like. You had young kids, you had never lived in a way where you were questioning like that. And then to just experience, first of all, that out of your body completely, then your brother, which I'm so sorry to hear, like a week later, and then to be in this state for a couple months, like that's a pretty big life change. Like that is, I can see how that would shift everything. It's interesting when you were talking, and I've read so much about near-death experiences, and I've watched a lot about it. I find it fascinating, and you always hear a similar theme of this, like happiness, returning home, feeling like there's light there. And is that something you can still feel or connect to even now? That feeling that you had?
If now we spoke about the corona, and you know, there was a moment when I was sick now that I asked myself, I felt like, why to live in this world that the human race invent this virus, you know? And I felt like, I don't want to be here. But then remembering this experience is, you know, coming home and I said, okay, I have a role. I mean, I need to be here. I need to stay, you know, I need to speak, I need to, so then this moment is like, you know, light.
Yeah.
Light.
Wow. Tuning in or turning to the film for a moment, I would love to talk about some of the big questions that you address and that you answer, and some of the experiences, experiments. It was very touching. Some of those, you know, showing people from all over the world coming to, you know, the area that has been, you know, obviously brought a lot of love and strife. And to see, I mean, it was just, you saw literally people from all over the world come together. That in itself, you know, brought tears to my eyes. But I'm curious, what were some of those big questions you wanted to answer in the one field? And maybe for those who haven't seen it yet, to talk about what were some of the biggest discoveries, and for you personally.
Yeah. First of all, I want to tell you that all the time that it was very hard for me to make the movie, to produce it, you know, to have the money, and there was all the time signs from the unit.
Yeah.
And these signs was like light in the way. Yeah. So I just want to tell you one story. I'll try to make it short, and then I will answer this question. And the story is why I call the movie The Field, because for the one field. So I had a friend, and she was working with me in the Israeli TV, and she was sick. She had cancer, stage number 4. And I didn't go to visit her because I heard that she gave up the life. And so I didn't see her from the time we knew that she is ill until she died. I never saw her. But I was thinking about her a lot. And at that time, I also learned sending energy myself. I learned to do it. And I was asking myself, maybe I will send her energy. But when I started to do it, I felt that she don't want. At that time, I also wanted to have the name of the movie, because I didn't have any name for the movie. I called it Shasta. Shasta temporary name. Why? Because the first interview with Gregg and Bruce was at Mount Shasta at a conference. So one Saturday, I got up in the morning and I left my cell phone in my bedroom, and then I went up to my editing room, which is up here. But first of all, what I want to say that when I woke up in the morning, I felt a very light feeling of freedom. And I said to myself, maybe Ada, this is the name of my friend, maybe she will go out from hospice. Like I saw her, you know, like healthy going out from the hospice, and a very, you know, relief came to my feeling, because all the months it was so heavy. So I went up and I said, today I will find the name of the movie. And I was reading the proposal that I was writing, and I was reading that I'm writing, there is a field that connects everyone, everything. What is a field? The field. And then I said, this is the name of the movie, The Field. I was so happy. I wrote The Field, and then I got down and I got a message in my cell phone that my friend, she died. And the funeral will be at the street, the name, The Field.
Oh, I got chills. Wow.
So why I told you this story, because all the way in making this film, the question was, do I do it from my ego, or do I need to do it? Yeah. And all these signs, yeah, like the name of the movie, it was so important for me because I felt that, okay, if you are there, the guide, if you want me to make the movie, show me the way. Yeah. So like this, I went, so it's like, I don't know how I did it, because it was like coming through me, yeah, the movie. So if you ask me what was the big lesson, is that I wanted to see the way I felt my brother, a week before he died, the way I got the name of the movie from a woman that, she gave me the name, I was with her. There is connection between me and him, between me, and there are many, many stories like this. What is this connection? I want to see it. I want to measure it. I want to see it in my eyes, if it's, because, spiritual words, okay, you can speak very nicely, but if it's true, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And I want to show it. So that's why, for example, we made the experiment from India to Israel, yeah, in the movie. So also the place that I got with the screen behind, it was a miracle to go to this place in Israel. So, but it was 5 cameras filming at the same time with the same time code. If, you need to be brave to spend this money. If there is something, I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see it. So it will be shown in the time code. And so it's a miracle.
Well, I think just some of the people you had there who actually we've had on the show, Dr. Bruce Lipton, Gregg Braden. I'm going to be interviewing shortly Lynne McTaggart, who wrote so many books, including The Intention Experiment, Lee Carroll, and many others. If you were to maybe just share one or two of the experiments that you got to see with your eyes for our listeners, what actually happened and how that felt, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I can tell you about the experiment at John Stuart Reid lab.
Right.
Okay, with the blood. So I wanted to see if, if sound can change, I don't know, what I said to myself, if sound can change DNA. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So I was at Italy with Professor Carlo Ventura, and he showed me amazing things, but he said, I cannot record a live experiment, no matter why. And then Anders is from our movie. He said, I'm in contact with John Stuart Reid, so we exchanged email. And then he said, yes, we made an experiment with sound that could make the hemoglobin 10 times high than because of sound. So, and he sent me the protocol. So we said, okay, so let's, again, to take the crew, to go to find the money, to go to England, it's not so easy. But okay, let's do it. And we'll see it on camera. And what was very, for the first time in history, is that Anders, he was a singer, that he was singing to the vial of blood in real time. Yeah,
singing with a vial of blood. Right. I remember.
So So he did it. So the first time, he was singing to a vial of blood, and the same blood was in another Faraday cage. That's what you call it. It's a small room that don't get the sound.
Okay. That's right. The room that had no sound. I remember that. Yeah.
So Anders was singing to the blood. And then John went to the Faraday cage and took the blood that didn't get the sound, and there was no live cells. So this is the moment that, it's like my heart is, because we came to England. So because it cannot be, if there is no live cells in this blood, the sound cannot make in another vial of blood. It cannot be that there will be, what is this? It's like making someone dead, you understand?
Yeah, sure. Resuscitate or have live cells all of a sudden. Right.
So this is a moment I remember, because it was, but then there was a voice in me that said, who knows? Who knows? Maybe there will be a miracle. And then John went to the vial of blood that got the sound, and there was so many live cells there that he could, the equipment that measure it said that you cannot, please dilute the sample, because you cannot count how many blood cells alive. So this is amazing,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so, and I have to say, when you're watching this and the other experience, it's like, what? It really, like you said, there's this, I think we have a ceiling on our beliefs, and it just blows that ceiling. It like takes it, lifts it up, and it makes it so that there's no ceiling anymore. There's no, it's just amazing. One of the other things I forgot to mention in the beginning, because I know we connected through the Illuminate Film Festival, and your film was premiered at the Illuminate Film Festival in Sedona. That's where we've had Danette on here as well, and just a beautiful, it's, what she's done, bringing in all these amazing, conscious cinema type of films. But I'm wondering, where can our listeners find the One Field? Because I saw it and was like, this needs to be made available for everybody. It is so powerful, so powerful.
So it's very simple. You write www.theonefield.com. That's all. And then
onefield.com. That's it. Okay. We'll have that in the show notes. It's one with the number one, but I'll have that written out. How was that for you with being around Lee channeling Cryon too? I'm curious, what was that like for you to be around that in person? Because I've listened for many times to him. I was like, what? I can't even imagine how that was, there live.
It's like I'm living like in two parallel, let's say, streaming. One is my heart, when I hear you speaking.
Yeah.
So I feel that, first of all, I feel a lot of love that he's sharing with the world, which is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that I know what he's speaking about. But then my mind is telling me, okay, but I cannot believe in this. I must, check it. That's why I put REG in front of him when he's channeling, and to see what I feel, yeah. And then the graph is going up and up and up, and it's in the field, yeah. And I think it's all because I wanted to see and I wanted to show. So I don't take anything, just for granted, or just because I believe. I don't believe in anything. I want to see.
Yes. What would you say was your biggest insight, learning, miracle takeaway from after, you 10 years of like being invested and intentional about this film, what would you say was your top, like your biggest insight or just miracle moment for you?
When I was in few screening, and people watching the movie, even the first time when I was in the cinematheque, and I was afraid that it's boring. And I was shocked, that people are sitting for 2 hours and it's interesting for them. So there's a feeling that, I did it.
Yeah.
That's the, I did it. Sometimes I forget this, yeah, but sometimes I have to remind myself, I did it. I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
But this is a great feeling.
Cippy, thank you so much. On many levels, what you're sharing is so potent and powerful. And I will have all of this in the show notes, but certainly recommend everybody going to the onefield.com and really seeing this masterpiece. It also, I'll say, it sparked this feeling of unity, to see people from all over the world, often who in sometimes haven't gotten along, to see everybody in different aspects really connecting to what I think we're sharing and showing, is that we are all part of this oneness, this one field. And so grateful that you did, have that experience of returning back to your body and really pursued this. I think it's a gift and it's a masterpiece. It's such a beautiful and powerful film. And I guess before we end, I'm just curious if there's any, I call them heart flares, where your heart is like, I want to say this, or I want to share this. Do you have any heart flares?
Yeah.
Anything that you'd like to share that I didn't?
Yeah.
Please.
When I ask myself, what is my role in this life, what I'm doing here? So immediately my question was, okay, I'm living in this country. It's not coincidence. In this country, I'm in cinema, I'm making documentary all the time about conflict, all the time. And my feeling is that something there is not right about this conflict, about young people dying in the war, yeah. And I can tell you that the big vision of this film is the image of, let's say, if I see my body, yeah, I have right side and left side. And in the middle, there is one line in the middle, which is my connection to some higher level, let's say. So if I take my body as an example of the world, and not only my body, all the bodies, yeah. And I see the world like all the time, the duality between the East and the West, the Israeli and the Palestinian, the Jewish and the Arab, the science and the spirituality. All the time we are thinking in like two contradiction, yeah, all the time. And I felt that my role in life is to bring the peace between these two extremes. That's the movie. The field is to unite the two extremes. That's why I have someone from India, and we have Dr. Roger Nelson from, United States. We have the East and the West. And I feel that Israel is the place where the peace can come. Because it's in the middle of, there is the big, how you call it, I don't know the name in English, there is one line of breaking between anyway, it's geological, it's earthquake from the. So I think that Israel, if my feeling is that I'm there, I'm here not by coincidence, and my role is to bring the knowledge of the two extremes that can be united.
Mm.
That's the movie, in fact. That's the inspiration for the movie. That was all the time. And that's why when Lee Carroll said that he's coming to Israel, for me it was the answer, you know, to go all over the Israel with the tour. Because the interview with Lee Carroll and Gregg and Bruce was a year before.
Right.
The coming to Israel. So that's my
beautiful
connecting the edge. That's the movie.
Stunning. Well, I think this, as you said, uniting the two extremes and really being a champion for peace and switching gears from covering conflict to looking at how we're all connected to this one field is so powerful. I just like so many blessings and gratitude and just honoring you for really fulfilling that and for creating a masterpiece. It's a very special film, and I'm so grateful for your time. I know it's later there. I'm just so thankful to talk to you today, Cippy. This has been just a real joy. I'm really grateful.
Thank you. For me, it was a very great option to express myself in my English.
Did wonderful. And I just want to thank all of our beautiful listeners, all of the Youest You community. Thank you for tuning in. Highly recommend that you check out the One Field. It'll all be in the show notes. And just thank you for your contribution to creating a world that is unified in peace and our light.
Thank you.